Okay, for this part I've got her outside in the garage because it's pretty messy, but basically all I'm doing is just drilling a whole bunch of holes, and then I'll take a 1/8 inch cylindrical rotary file in my Dremel. One of these bad boys right here. I don't know how well that shows up in this light and on camera and everything, but it's just, they call it a burr or a rotary file. Works great. It'll zip that stuff out, get really precise control with it. This kit, I think the whole thing, it's like it was put together on a Monday morning and everybody was drunk. Here's a little known fact about Max. Back in the early 80s, I worked some fiberglass. Did a lot of high-speed offshore boats down in Florida, and up here in Detroit, I did a lot of race car parts. Now, not to brag or anything, but I actually made a part that was then installed on the body of a race car that raced in the Indianapolis 500 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in 1983. But anyway, so the point there is that I kind of know a little bit what I'm talking about fiberglass, and I'm sure they outsourced their glass work, but it looks like they chopped it, and they just didn't do a fantastic job. The consistency of thickness is very poor. When they rolled it out, they got lazy. There's a lot of, we call them stabbies, little things that want to stick up and get you. There's a lot of them. It was just not a high quality layout. Same thing with the gel coat. I don't know if they didn't clean the mold real good before or what, but there's a lot of imperfections in that gel coat, and some of them are going to be a problem. Now, if you look real close, if the camera will focus, on this molded hinge. Now, these doors don't open, okay? So on this molded hinge, you can see that it's pretty much the way it's supposed to be. But on this one, it's a little bit different story, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do to correct that. And there's a lot of that on here. If you look at these bolt heads, this is why I ordered 200 256 hex head brass bolts, because I'm pretty much going to have to replace every single one of these bolt heads. There's a, come on baby, focus for me. Someday I'm going to get a camcorder with manual focus. You can see the one right there, center screen, is way off. The one in the corner has got a big divot missing out of it. Now, I know there's a lot of cast damage and, you know, use damage and stuff like that, but not so much the bolt heads. The bolt heads should be, you know, fairly decent looking. Look at this one here. That's just almost non-existent. So every one of those stinking little bolt heads, and there's a bunch of them up here, they go all the way across the front. See all them little bolt heads? I gotta remove every single one of those and drill it out and replace it with a brass bolt. Oh, the details. But she progresses. I'm back to work on the lower as well. One of the guys made some really good points about alignment of road wheels and idlers and sprockets, and we are working on that. I just haven't posted anything on it yet because I still don't have results. But when I get them, you'll get them. See you next time. Okay, here you can see that the inside has been removed. On this one, it's still got the marks from where I did the drill bits, and then I went through there with the rotary file and just connected the dots. And then on this one, I went over everything with the Dremel with a sanding drum, one of these right here. A little sanding drum works really well. And another thing that I always keep handy is one of these, and you can see that I've got the soft bristle brush on there, so that I got it right next to me. I can just continuously remove the top. Now, they call it GRP or something, but this is basically fiberglass. So when I get done here, I'm going to go swimming. I'm going to go get in the pool for about a half an hour. If you don't have access to a swimming pool, go ahead and, you know, just take a shower when you're done. Because if you've never experienced fiberglass getting on your skin and making you itch and you can't sleep, then, you know, there's no way to really describe it until you've actually experienced it for yourself. And it's something you don't want to experience. So the best way to get rid of fiberglass dust is to take a swim, at least 30 minutes. If you can't do that, take a shower, but start with cool water, as cold as you can take it. The reason you do that is because if you start with hot water, it's going to open up all the pores in your skin and just let the glass get in deeper. If you start with the cool water and just let it rinse over your body for a good 4 or 5 minutes, it'll get most of that stuff off, because fiberglass is wicked and nasty. So if you're playing with it, there's some tips. See you next time. Okay, now everything's been opened up and given the first trim. I might go into some of the corners of the file and clean up a little bit more, you know. All the holes have been drilled for the hinges. So far this is the only door that I've done. I did this one first. On each door I have to add the tie down handles and the lifting handle. I have to drill out the hinges and the hinges that go in the tank, so all that has to be drilled out. This is not glued in right now. You got these nice long posts on the other side, so you know, you can see on this handle I just put it through, bent it over a little bit, put a little drop of gel super glue on there, the thick stuff, and the holes are marked where to drill the holes for the hinges. That's part of the mold that makes the top of the tank, and they're pretty accurate so far. They seem to be a really nice fit. That gives me access to my on-off switches and the volume for the secondary sounds. I guess Ian's having a little trouble with the 15 watt amp, but you know, I'm thinking that this TPA might be just fine. It seems to have plenty of volume right now. I'm not sure there's any real reason to go with any more power. You guys have heard it. What do you think? It's going to get even better now that the grill is opened up in the back right by those speakers. Of course, you can see I've still got a lot of hand file work to do in there before I put the photo etch grill over the top. But that's where we're at right now. You guys have fun. I'm going swimming. See you next time.